welcome back to another wonderful video. Today I am here in the Ponytown Caves to talk about the Ponytown Caves. Who would have thought? Now, the Ponytown Caves are a part of the Ponytown map that not a lot of people really seem to enjoy or use. If I zoom all the way out here right now, you can see that there is 5 people in here total. Like, there's literally just 5 people in the entirety of the caves. In fact, it looks like this person right here is probably leaving the caves right now, so there's basically 4. One of them is probably AFK. This person right here is probably AFK. This person over here is probably AFK as well. That, or they're in a party and they wanted to talk somewhere private other than their party island or something like that. Who knows? But the point is, not a lot of people really hang out in the caves or do much in the caves. And a large part of that is because, well, there's not really a lot to do in the caves. So I thought I would gather some ideas and talk about 7 things that really should change about the caves and 7 ideas that could really improve the caves and make people want to go to the caves just a little bit more. I'm gonna go through this whole list, but before I do want to give a shout out to Luca Mintz. There are the music dev over at Ashestown, and they have a SoundCloud. I leave their SoundCloud in the description of every single video because I use their song in my outro of every single video. I want to give a shout out to them because some of these ideas were theirs, including this first one, which is a crack in the wall that will teleport you to your party island. Now imagine if you come up here to this little area right here, and there's a crack in the wall, and you go up in it or something like that, and it brings you to your party island. Perhaps some kind of trap door that you can place on your party island, allowing you to have access between it, or perhaps it's just something that just happens for some reason. Who knows why it happens, but it happens. I think it could be an interesting addition to the caves because it would give players another way, another means to get to their island, which I think would help a lot because currently there is still to this day people that don't quite know how to get to the party island or how it kind of works. So giving them a second way to get to their party island is something that could benefit them. And that is the first idea on this list. I have many more, so stick around and let's talk about the caves as a whole. So this is really just overall kind of expanding the cave and kind of making it a little bit less cramped. For example, there is not much space right here at all. Like, you can basically fit 1 character here and that is it. Obviously, if we didn't have colliders, we could fit like 2 or 3 characters here, and maybe we can fit 2 right here right now, but because of the colliders, it's so hard to really fit through here. It's like so cramped. Obviously, we can fit through there really easily, but it's just extremely cramped. And that's just only one example. If we come to like this area right here, there's obviously colliders that are kind of making that a little bit cramped. This is a lot easier to deal with. But there's all kinds of spaces that are extremely narrow, like this right here, that are just so narrow. And you know, spaces like this are kind of fine, but there are other spaces that really frustrate me because it's like, why can't I fit through there? For example, if we come over here, it looks like I should be able to fit here, right? But I can't fit here because this dirt pile is in the way. This dirt pile is just too much to the left, and I can't fit between there to go around. Obviously, I could fly over it, but we have another case like that right here. In fact, I'm basically touching the wall, but I still somehow can't fit between the wall and this minecart. There are many places like this that are in the caves. They're just all over the place. So many places that it's like, why can't I move here? Why can't I fit through here? Like, for example, I can fit through here, but I couldn't fit through that minecart and that wall. That is weird. There's like many spots like that. And my point is, they need to very carefully and delicately look at everything that's in the caves and try to make sure that there's spaces for you to actually move around in. For example, again, we come to this spot right here and it's extremely cramped. We can either go up here, which is extremely narrow, or we can go down here, which is extremely narrow. And this lantern kind of bumps into us every now and again. There's a lot of spots like this, and I just want them to overall expand the caves, kind of make some of these hallways slightly wider, move things around a little bit and kind of tweak things so that we can actually fit between spaces that look like we should be able to fit between them. And overall, that is kind of my main thing that I want them to do. But let's move back onto the list and talk about this second idea that I think would be a wonderful addition to the caves. Now, this is kind of something with the caves, but it's more so something with the party island. I want basically all of these things, even these black tiles, these cave walls, the stalagmites, the crystals, everything, the dirt, all of that stuff added to placeable objects in the party house, the party island. I want those in the party island because I want to be able to make cave maps on my island. I just think that would be great, especially if you were to combo this with the earlier idea where I mentioned there's a crack in the wall, you go up to it and it can teleport you to your party island. I think comboing those two would be really great and make the caves good and give players, again, another reason to come here, because now they're able to kind of get inspiration for their island or stuff like that. This third thing is something that I'm pretty sure I've mentioned before in previous videos, and I'm pretty sure other people have had similar ideas to this, but this idea is simply put a maze in the caves. Now, you already have a lot of like weird spaces that are like, why can't it fit through here? Like, for example, this space right here, why can't it fit through there? Use this, but put it somewhere else in the caves. Perhaps have like this space over here, way back here in this corner where everyone likes to hide and stuff like that. Perhaps have it to where once you get to a certain point, there's a little crack in the wall. You'd probably have to move this tiny little rock or something like that, but there's a little crack in the wall. You go through there and it opens up another section of the map, like teleporting you to another section of the map basically. And that little section has a lot of cramped rocks and debris, perhaps some mine carts and some of these things, whatever the heck these things are called, crystals, all kinds of stuff like that, just scattered about and sort of mazy and everything like that. Having that maze there would of course bring in players to go there, and it would be a way to keep a permanent maze on the map. We obviously had an ice maze in winter on the main map and everything like that, but of course it obviously melted, so to speak, during spring, so it's no longer there. Who knows if it'll come back for next winter? Presumably it will, but something to keep us a permanent maze would be nice to have something like that in the caves, especially over there in that corner, because it's already starting to get slightly cramped, and then you just teleport to another section of the map that's extremely cramped and confusing and weird and stuff like that. And you could, of course, put some Easter eggs and some treasure and stuff like that in the maze and stuff like that. Speaking of treasure, something that would be really nice to have is a treasure chest just chilling somewhere in the caves. Obviously, perhaps in a new section of the map, like the cave, like the maze that I just mentioned. Perhaps somewhere just vibing over here. Just put a treasure chest. This treasure chest is already like broken and open, and there is like gold coins and silver coins just kind of scattered about all around it and stuff like that, and then have us be able to pick those coins and stuff like that up. Obviously those coins wouldn't do anything. There'd be much like these crystals that I have in my mouth right now, or something like the lantern or something else, obviously not glowing, but something that you can pick up that doesn't really matter. It doesn't really do anything. You can nom on it if you want to, but it could be a nice addition to the caves, because now there's another reason to go to the caves. If you want those gold coins or that silver coin or something like that, you have to go to the cave. Perhaps you have to actually solve that maze. You have to do all kinds of neat little things, and then you get your little gold coins, and then you can leave the caves if you want to, or hang out around the caves. It doesn't matter. Obviously, money isn't a thing in the game, but having like a little treasure chest there with like little coins or something like that would obviously be a great addition to the caves, especially if it was hidden somewhere and you had to kind of work yourself around corners and stuff like that to find it. I think it would be great. Let's talk about another idea, and that of course is fast traveling. Now, just like the crack in the wall thing that I mentioned earlier, you could have multiple cracks in the wall in multiple places in the caves. For example, maybe you want to put one right here, or maybe you want to put one all the way over here, down here somewhere, like in this spot right here. Something like that. I don't know where you would want to put them, but you could put cracks in multiple different places in the caves, and then walking into those cracks could, of course, teleport you to another section of the map. Perhaps somewhere near the cliffs, perhaps somewhere on the beach, like you come up through like this hole in the ground or something like that. Maybe there is a trap door, in a building somewhere, if we ever got a building, something like that, and it can just be used as a fast travel transportation. This is something similar to what Town actually does. They of course have their sewer underground, where you go into the sewers and then you can go up multiple different ladders and stuff like that, and then teleport to other locations on the map. This could be something very similar to that, obviously not to the same extent or the same scale, and of course not with a sewer, but with the caves that already exist in the game. So I think this fast travel method could be a great way to get more people to come to the caves, because of course, if you want to get to the bottom of the map and you're at the top of the map, it might be a lot easier to just go to the caves, go to one of the cracks, and then boom, you're there. I think it would be a great addition to the caves, and of course, I can't fit through here, and of course make it a lot easier to traverse the Ponytown map. This next thing on the list is, of course, something else that I've also mentioned in a previous video a long time ago. Now this, of course, is a pickaxe. Now, of course, the pickaxe is already in the game. If I come up to this little thing here and grab it, I have a pickaxe. Look at me go. I mine left to right, something like that. I don't know how the song goes. Imagine if there are some crystals, such as these right here, these crystals here, imagine if there's crystals like that, but different colors, and they randomly spawn, sort of pop up out of the ground, and then you can pick them up using the pickaxe. You would have to use the pickaxe, but picking it up, you would mine it or whatever like that, and then it would add it to your inventory or something like that, sort of how it does with pearls or clovers or whatever like that. And now you have it, and you can hold it or whatever you want to do. I don't know. But it could be a nice little collection thing that they could do to the caves. Now, again, this only works if they expand on the caves, because right now it's extremely cramped. So you can imagine if they add a new collectible to the caves, tons of people are in the caves, it's impossible to collect anything, because even if it's a really common thing to spawn, there's going to be too many people. It's going to be impossible to actually see where they're spawning, because there's just going to be too many people, or it's going to be cramped overall. So again, expanding something like this area right here, expanding it, making it go a little bit bigger or something like that, it would be a nice addition to actually make that crystal thing work just a little bit better. Let's move on to my last idea. Now, this is my last idea. I am sorry. I could only come up with about 7 ideas, but of course these were mostly brainstorms and stuff like that. I'm sure if I spent a week straight or much longer, I could come up with several things to add to the caves or tweak with the caves, because right now the caves are rather boring, if we're being honest with ourselves. But this last one is very exciting, and it would be really nice to have, because it would essentially bring lore to the game, at least a little bit more. This essentially would be a statue or some hieroglyphics, things like that, in a section of the caves. For example, again, let's imagine if I go this way or whatever like that, I come up to this area, maybe instead of a maze being there, or maybe the maze itself is filled with hieroglyphics and statues and all kinds of like Easter eggs and stuff like that that kind of make you wonder, like, what is the story of Ponytown? What's going on behind the scenes, so to speak? I think it would be a great addition, because of course it would bring more lore to the game, and it would mean that this kind of mining operation had a little bit more to it than we originally thought. Because right now it just seems like we're just mining for the sake of mining, because there doesn't seem to be anything that they're actually going for. I guess they're going for the crystals, obviously, so they went here to get these crystals. But it would be nice to find something like that, where you just go around the corner and then boom, there's hieroglyphics hidden here. I think it'd be great. And that's it. Those are my 7 ideas. I do hope that you enjoyed those 7 ideas. And again, big shout out to Luca Mint for the first idea on the list, which is being able to teleport us to our party island. And probably 1 or 2 more things on the list as well that I just don't remember if it was her idea or my idea. But there you have it. Those are the ideas right now currently that I've come up with. Perhaps I'll do another video on this in the future, talking about more things that we could add to the caves. And overall, I just think we need a cave update in Ponytown, because the caves haven't been touched since they were added. The only time they were ever touched is when they decorated it for like Halloween or something like that. So it's kind of sad that they don't ever do anything with the caves. It's almost like they added it and then they just kind of forgot about it, or they just haven't had time to focus on it. But there you have it. Those are my ideas. I do hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please do like, subscribe, share, do all of those wonderful things like that, because when you do those wonderful things, you get access to wonderful content such as this. But that's not all you get. No, it's not all you get. You also get to become wonderful yourself, and I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.